Morning and welcome to an unusual Mind Right Monday. I'm your host, Bonnie Kelly. Welcome to Sacramento, San Francisco International Airport. I'm on my way down to a conference and wanted to give you guys a quick hey and hello to tell you what you missed this last weekend at our Journey to Joy live event. So one of the things that we talked about is this importance of walking this journey back to joy, and how we often think that joy should be a destination when really joy is always a journey. And it's something that we're going to constantly walk to, because as you grow and as you develop, what brings you joy is going to grow and develop as well. But there are 8 pillars, according to the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu, that they just came out with in the Book of Joy, that are the 8 pillars that make up happiness or make up joy. And when we're connected to those and we're utilizing those, that those begin to allow us to constantly go back to and constantly generate joy in our life very intentionally. Now, the other big thing is that we think that joy should happen to us. Well, joy is something we can be very intentional in creating in all aspects of our lives. And when we can take ownership of that, and take ownership of our happiness and take ownership of our joy, wonderful things can emerge as a result from that. So let me share with you actually just a couple of the items from the Book of Joy. So some of those items are perspective, humility, humor, of course, and laughter, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. These are the 8 pillars of joy. Now, let me break a couple of these down for you, and some of the things that we talked about this last weekend. The big one of which is perspective. Most of us don't realize that the way that we perceive and the way that we believe our reality and the way that we're experiencing it is distorted. It's distorted by your preconceived notions of who you are and what you've been conditioned to believe about the world that you live in. Well, if we grew up with any dysfunction or any kind of hardship in our life that has skewed our perception to maybe not be vulnerable, not to be weak, not to be open-minded, well, our perception can be very skewed. We can see people as a threat versus as seeing maybe where we can connect with one another on, or like where we can get together closer with one another. So we have to recognize that your perception isn't always serving you and can be changed. It literally is just your choice on how you want to view, look at, or think about something. So when we can take radical ownership of our perspective, we can get more in alignment with our joy. Now, one of the other big ones is humor or laughter. I'm a huge advocate for those who know, who've come through my programs, who come to my coaching. It knows that laughter is just a fundamental piece of reconnecting back with our joy. And you can be intentional about creating laughter, about creating joy in your own life. One of the best ways to do that is just to find a list of jokes and go make somebody's day. Memorize one and just go tell it 3, 4 times in that day. Make someone else laugh and see how you feel in correspondence to that, because I assure you, you're going to feel very happy. Now, the next 2, acceptance and forgiveness, are really, really big nuggets. So acceptance is when we begin to accept what has been done has been done. Now, let me just clarify on this. Acceptance does not equal acceptable. It's a big one for us to get our mind wrapped around, because a lot of times when we say that we're accepting things that have happened to us in the past, that we think that acceptance means that it has to make it acceptable, that it's okay, that we justify it, that we make it right. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that we have to accept that your past has been written. And no matter how much you cry, or no matter how witty you are, no matter how much you fight, no matter how angry you stay, we cannot change or transform even a moment of your history. So we have to accept what has been done so we can be present and move forward. The other part of acceptance is so we don't drag our histories into our futures. Now, one way we can start getting through acceptance is by practicing the art of forgiveness. And one of the big misnomers around forgiveness is that people often think that forgiveness is something that you just do once and then you're done with it. Well, forgiveness actually needs to be a practice. It's something that you practice regularly, the art of forgiveness. And it's often a choice before it ever becomes a feeling. When you can get into the art of, or into the practice of forgiveness, into accepting our histories, it'll bring you much, much closer to the joy that I know that you're seeking. The last one I want to touch on today is gratitude. As you guys know, attitude of gratitude is a fundamental piece of giving you inner peace and inner joy. And when we can reconnect to that gratitude and being thankful for the things that we do have and not focusing all on the things that are missing or that we don't have, because I understand we all have things in our lives that are falling short, that we don't like, or that are just not ideal. But when we can let go of that and stop putting all of your energy, putting all of your focus on that aspect, and then shifting that energy and focus onto the areas in your life where you are appreciative, you're going to fill your joy cup just a little bit more, but you're going to start to feel a sense of calmness, and it's going to start making room for the things that you do desire in your life versus, separating ourselves from the things that don't. So hopefully that this video, even though it's unusually different than our normal Mind Right Mondays, and you get to see all this trippy stuff over here, is helps you guys reconnect. I'm wishing you all the best. I'm sending you love from my travels, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on Mind Right Monday.